Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show today. I'm super excited about this show because we have a real live Cupid with us. Yay! This is Creative Visions TV, and I'm your host, Karen Dahlman, and I'm very happy to have you here today. So, this very live Cupid of ours that we're going to have today join us is from the Beverly Hills area, and she's a really well-known matchmaker, awesome at what she does. She helps people's dreams come true by hooking them up with their true love and makes couples unite. People that may not have found themselves any other way. Now, this guest we have today has a mystical, magical side to her as well. Not only is she a matchmaker, but she's also a deep diver into the spiritual realm, spirituality, the paranormal, metaphysics, and all those things that go bump in the night, the unseen energies. So she did a whole journey and shared this in one of her most recent books called The Buddha Made Me Do It, A Field Guide to Enlightenment. And when she was writing this book, that's when she and I met. And I know those of you out there who've been watching my show for a while know who I'm talking about. I'll hide her name. Gave it away. But you've met her before because she and I had a series we did for a couple of years. And I'm super thrilled to have her back on the show today because it's like our reunion time. You guys been asking for her, so I'm bringing her back. Now, you guys know her as Marla Martenson from the Woman of Ouija. And you know her to be a top-notch matchmaker. And also, she's very experienced in Reiki and crystal healing. Now, we're going to have her on today to ask her how her board work and her work with her angels has been going, Mirth, but also to dive into this exploration of the mystical realm she's been exploring for some time now and how it's all developed and come together for her with the form of healing she does. She can help heal your heart and help you find the love of your life and also heal yourself so you do many glorious and wonderful things within your life. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Marla Martenson back to the show. Hi, Marla.
Woohoo! Hey, everybody! The Women of Ouija!
It's so awesome to have you here. Thank you for joining us. It's just, you're always a bright star.
Yay, thank you. This is so fun. I've just missed our videos together. So, and everybody, Karen's going to be on my show as well very soon. So, you get double trouble.
You get double trouble for, it's a 2-for-1.
That's right. That's right.
So listen, tell me what's going on with your board work. Where are you with that and with your angel Mirth? How's that going?
With my board. Yes, I still have my little board. It's getting a little worn out in some spots there. I don't have as many boards as you do, Karen, but I've got about 5 ones, different kinds of boards, and I have angel. I still don't have a Ouija, a traditional Ouija. I never got one because then I thought I've got like 5 different boards. Why am I going to spend money on a Ouija? Because I'd love to have one of those ones that's like 100 years old or something, one of the originals. That's what I'd love. Maybe one day I'll try to find one on eBay or something. But
yes.
Yeah, I'm still working on my board all alone, except when I go over to our friend Linda Salvin's, which I go over about every month or 2, and we get on the board and talk to her spirit guide, and we get messages and take notes, and that's a lot of fun. But otherwise, I talk to Mirth. Now, it's interesting because when we started on our series that we used to chat about talking on the boards, we both wanted to get off the board. That was our goal, right? So one day I said to Mirth, I said, listen, I want to get off the board. Let me try it, and I'm going to do some automatic writing. And so because I started to hear, like I'd be on the board and I'd kind of hear what's coming up next. So I put my hands on the keyboard and I started typing and it started coming through. Then I started offering angel readings, and I'd give some readings to friends and stuff, and they said, oh yeah, it's the messages are amazing, you're right on. And so I felt a little more confident, and then I started offering them. People can order at $15. I type up a message from Mirth, a couple paragraphs, and email it to you. So I still don't want, I'm not like, a lifetime psychic who's charging $100 or something to do that. It's something that I love. And people love the messages, so I offer that. So sometimes I get a lot of people ordering the message from Mirth, and it's just so much fun giving that. They'll tell me like what maybe area they're interested in, whether it's romance or work, and then she gives a message about what they need to know now, and it's just so much fun.
Are you doing that on the board, or is it on the keyboard typing?
I'm just doing it now. I'm just doing it on the keyboard. I'm channeling.
Okay, so you're in other words, you've moved more off the board and into the channeling with the keyboard.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Now, when I'm alone and I just want to talk to guides and stuff, I'll go on the board. But then when I'm channeling for other people, it seems like more I'll channel on the keyboard. It's faster because I have to type it anyway. I'd have to
true.
stop.
You know, the guides were saying to me, it's like it's like going through shorthand. I mean, you got to go. It takes a long time to get it all out, but if you go directly to us, as I've been doing more and more too, I've been talking about that on this channel. It just flows right out. It's quick. It's like having a conversation right here, as opposed to A, B, P, right?
Yeah, and I've been asking people, please, for the confirmation after. Did that resonate? And then so that I know, because sometimes you think, am I just making stuff up? You know what I mean? But I and even like once Mirth said, oh, I sense a cat around you. And this, I said to the guy, do you have a cat? Oh, yes, I do. And then another one, she said, I sense some cats. I sense a kitten. And then the woman said, yeah, my daughter just got a kitten. So there's been things that came through that it's hard for us to sometimes believe that we're really hearing these things about somebody we don't know anything about, because these people will order the reading, and I know zero about them, just their name.
Right. So it's good to get that validation, that feedback. Anytime you're doing this work, it's good to get that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know you're on the right path.
But if it's all off, I don't even want to do it. Offer it. You know, I don't want to do that to people. So.
Exactly. So, you know, Marla, and this book, and by the way, you guys, this is a great book. Marla's writing style is so much fun, but you also learn a lot of stuff about her journey she went through. In this book, this really took you into some deeper areas of your spiritual development, didn't it? And I remember in this book, I mean, you went through all these different sessions and things you tried, but it really brought you into this whole energy healing work, which leads to us talking about Reiki and crystal healing. Tell me how that developed for you. What attracted you to it?
Well, it was really interesting because when I wrote the book because me and my friend Julie, my sidekick, who is my girlfriend who lives a few blocks away, she's a celebrity ghostwriter, very talented, and well, you'll read the book about why I was searching for this Buddha that had been misplaced, the little statue, but that led me to a place called the Imagine Center in Tarzana here in Los Angeles, and I was looking for a statue. I walk in this little boutique and find out that they teach classes, and I took a flyer, and I said to Julie, hey, because we used to like to do things together. She was all into psychics and stuff too, and I said, hey, Julie, they have classes at this place. It's only $15 a class. Do you want to go? They have a class called Connecting with Your Guides. So we took that class once a week. We loved it so much. We said, we'll take any class that Goddess Tahita, who owns the place, teaches. So we went to another one, which was a manifesting or abundance. And then they offered, and the next class after that, so these were like 6 to 8 week classes, and then whatever she had, I'd sign up again, and one of them was crystal healing. And I said, okay, well, that sounds cool. So Julie wasn't interested in that, so I took it alone. And during that, learning about crystals and the crystal healing, and I found out I could get certified as a crystal healer. I said, well, why not? I'll go for it.
That's cool.
Now, when I was doing, to get certified, I had to have somebody. Julie came to be my patient, or my client, and she laid there and I'm showing what I'm doing. And then Tahita, the teacher, said, any of you who are doing this, if you want to add Reiki or energy healing to the crystal healing, always do that. Well, I hadn't even thought of that. I had had a Reiki treatment once a few years ago, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't really know what it was, and I thought, oh well, I better check into that. So I started Googling. I found a great Reiki master, a great Reiki teacher in Beverly Hills called Kat Lowe. I took her class level 1 and 2, and then I went back and got Reiki a year later, Reiki master. So I can be a teacher if I want. So I think I will. But so I started doing, so now I combine those two, and when somebody comes to me for a healing, I have my massage table, I have my beautiful studio here, make it all magical, and then I give them an energy session combined with my own style, with the energy, the Reiki, the crystals. I use rattle to break up the energy, oils, aromatherapy. I've got a beautiful oil diffuser. And then I've been working with a healer called Zarathustra, who's a master, internationally renowned healer, and he's a fifth dimension. He has something called fifth dimensional quantum healing and awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got certified in that, level 1 and 2. And so
Awesome.
I'm kind of a certification junkie now.
Well, okay, so all this, to me, the common thread here is all about energy work. So let's break this down. Let's talk about what it's like and how it works to work with these energies to help heal, or I hate the word healing sometimes. How about activating or bringing forth, helping people become more whole? What is that you do with the energy to do this? So we can have some practical maybe tips right now of how to work with the energies.
Well, you know what's really great, and I would suggest anybody to go and take at least a Reiki level 1 or 2, because even if you're not going to be doing what I do and having clients and stuff, it's amazing to work on yourself. So what happens is that the teacher, so you'll be learning about it, the history and all of that, and then you'll get attuned. So a Reiki master has to attune you. So there's these symbols, Reiki symbols, which you're not supposed to tell anybody. You know, it's they're kind of, now they're out. You can find them on the internet.
Well, it's kind of like a secret society. I mean, you're also bringing the energies in.
Yeah, the symbols are sacred,
yeah.
And then they attune you to these symbols. So that energy, it's the universal life force energy that's coming through you now. So, for example, people will say, well, what is this? If you think about, how does your heart beat? What's beating your heart right now? What is it? Isn't that amazing? Like, it's beating by itself. It's the energy from the universe that comes through our chakras, which are the 7 major energy centers, spinning wheels in our body, and it comes through. So what I'm doing is bringing that universal life force energy through me, and then it comes through my hands, my palms, which are portals, and into the person. So I'm not the healer.
Right.
I'm doing it. I'm just facilitating. I'm the channel, and I work with my angels and guides. Now it's Reiki can also open up your psychic abilities. That's when I was able to channel Mirth. I had worked with Julie on the board. She brought over a board, and I write about how she brought it over to my house one night. My husband wasn't home because he'd flip out. So we set the candles in the space, and then it moved. And the first night, it just said, it was a secret spirit. It was kind of like a little trickster energy. And then the next time we got together, we said, who are you? It spelled angel. And then that's when Mirth introduced herself. And then I wanted to talk to Mirth on my own. I didn't want to have to call Julie over every time. And I didn't have anybody. My husband wouldn't do it with me. I even tried to get my dog Macy to do it, put her paw on there. I was trying anything because it needed more energy. That's what Mirth said. It was the energy was why I couldn't do it alone. I sat there with the board for months, probably about 8 months. Every night I'd try it for 5 or 10 minutes, and my back would hurt, and I was frustrated. Nothing was moving. After I got attuned, started getting energetic attunements, that's when one night it started moving, and then I've been able to do it ever since. And then from there, opening up, and then that energy. So the reason I say you might want to get attuned yourself is because, like last night, I was giving my dog Reiki in her bed. I cleared her, gave her Reiki. My husband loves to get it. He's a piano player. Sometimes his arm hurts. I was up in Seattle with my mom recently. Her hip had been hurting. I gave her about a half hour of Reiki. Went back to LA the next day, and she called me and said my hip has not been hurting at all. So
wonderful.
It's just a beautiful thing that you can use for yourself. When I'm watching TV, I'm always Reikiing. I had some fibroid tumors a lot of women get, and I just kept Reikiing that spot, and I feel that they're gone. Reiki, my body, and just you can do plants, your food, raise the vibration. Your crystals, even my computer was glitching, and I started sending Reiki. My husband saw that. He flipped out. He thought that went too far.
Well, after all, right now, when we're taping this, it is during a Mercury retrograde. Some powerful stuff going on.
Yeah, so he's like, Reiki, an inanimate object? And I said, well, they say, in my Reiki book, it says you can. So.
I had a friend who Reiki'd her car. It wouldn't start.
Yes. Say to do that,
Yes. No, you brought something very interesting, because I've been getting a lot of information from the guides about when does life really start and how does it start. And so one of the things they talked about was this light of the universal source light, universal source energy matrix, the energy of all that is, that actually comes into the heart, and a spark starts the heart, and that's where life starts. And they're saying they saw that in the ovum and the spermatozoa. It actually unites a spark, and science has actually proven this. and that's when life starts there. So it's really fascinating. You talk about this light energy coming through and how you can use that to, number one, open up your centers and faculties so you have more of this energy coming through, widening your psychic abilities, your mediumship abilities, your channeling abilities, but also becoming a vessel for it can move through you. I think that's a fascinating thing. So you say, number one, it'd be good to take some energy courses, right? Number one for people, such as Reiki. What else, like if they want to combine, like you said, crystals, what else should they take to also work with this energy?
Yeah, and I would say, I just want to say that they I have read that the heart is formed before the brain.
Absolutely is, and in fact, they call the heart the little brain because of all the receptors in it, and your heart feels things before your brain even registers. That's a whole other show in itself we could go on.
Right.
But so what else do you recommend they do in order to work with the energy healing? What other kinds of techniques or practices?
Yeah, I mean, connecting with nature. I'm always bringing home pine cones or just connecting with a tree or the nature, because everything, even if you say you Reiki your car or Reiki your computer, those things came out of the earth, the materials to make it. So they are living things. If you think about it, you might not think of it, but where it's metals or things are made of crystals, metal, earth, whatever it's made out of, those minerals and stuff. So they are vibrating, they are conscious, right?
Everything vibrates. Everything is the reason why you can move through dimensions, is because everything is not really solid. I mean, we know this. Every single thing, even this book, is vibrating molecules. I mean, it just depends on the rate of the vibration. So yes, everything is alive with energy, with source energy flowing through it. It's amazing. We are star stuff, right?
Yeah. So I also love to do yoga. Yoga is great for opening up the chakras, for the energy, getting the energy flowing. Sound vibration is really great. So I've got this singing bowl and just...
Oh, nice.
That can just, doing that to someone or yourself can just raise your vibration. It's really important to... this is what Zarathustra taught me too. I study with him, and he is all about raising the vibration. So through being quiet, when you can quiet the mind and just sit, your vibration raises, and that's when you can connect and attract things into your life too. So that's all about energy as well. So yeah, there's a lot of ways. You want to eat we've talked about this before, the diet, high frequency foods. If you're eating heavy processed GMO or junk, there's a vibration to that too, and energy. That's the energy that's energizing your body. So you want to put some good live foods in there. So that's very important for energy wise.
Well, as I say, you are what you eat. But also, I heard this was said to me from the source of guides. They say, look at what you're putting in your body, and is it a lighter vibration? Like, is it lettuce? Or is it this heavy, like meat? I'm not saying don't eat meat. Everybody chooses what they want to do. But look at what feels lighter to you, and those are the foods that can help you with your vibratory abilities to move into the other realms. Yeah, so there's many things you can do. So if somebody comes to you for a session, I'm curious, what you mentioned all these things you do, but maybe walk us through what somebody could expect to receive and what you would do around them to prepare.
Yeah, so come in and then we'll talk about it. For example, there was a woman that came to me, and she was in her 50s and never been married and really wanted to find someone. And so she came in, and so, I have the person lay down on the table, face up, and then I'll do some clearing with selenite. I have a selenite wand, but that's over there. But selenite, so here's a selenite heart.
Nice, very nice.
It's beautiful, very angelic, and very clearing. So you can use that to clear the energy field, and then use a feather. And so I'll clear the person first. Rattle first. I'll shake and then clear, so that it's breaking up the energy. The energy, and then I'll place some crystals. So let's say, with her, I wanted to work a lot on the heart chakra, and I wanted to work on self-worth and self-love. So worked a lot on that. So I have another story about this rock too, but there's a stone that says forgive. I like putting that right on the heart chakra, because we hold a lot of angry feelings towards exes. Maybe someone broke up with us or cheated on us. So sometimes I find singles kind of stuck in their story from the last relationship. Could be an ex-husband who's not giving them child support or anything. We all have something to forgive or let go or release. So then I have the rose quartz, which I've got a little heart here.
Nice.
There's some raw rose quartz, which I'll use. So I'll place some different crystals around. I love the Palo Santo spray. You can buy that in a metaphysical shop or online. It's just like Palo Santo is so clearing. It's a stick from a tree that's really
lovely.
cleansing. And so I've got I've got a lot of different beautiful crystals, and so I'll place some of those around, and then I've got some nice music going and mood lights and some oil diffuser, and then I'll start doing some Reiki on different parts of the body wherever I'm led. A lot of traditional Reiki practitioners might do, okay, the hand positions have to be like here, then here. Mm-hmm. I don't do that. I kind of freestyle it.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll get some messages. I've gotten messages for I was doing a session on a lady the other day, and I said, do you have a lot of itchiness in your ears? And she said, yes. And I said, you've got some candida issues, and I asked her, you eat a lot of sugar? And she said, well, yes. And so sometimes some messages will come through about health, or, one person I said, I see you eating a lot of cheese. And she goes, I ate so much cheese today. So it's interesting how some things will come up. So I'll say, are you open to getting some messages? Yes. So we worked a lot on her, on affirmations, on love, on forgiveness, on opening the heart chakra, the clearing, and then I give an angel reading at the end if they want. The women usually want an angel reading.
I love it.
Talk to Mirth, and Mirth gave her some info on her relationship, how to find the right person, what she needed to do for herself, and she came about 3 times, and then she did get in a relationship with a guy. And that was really rewarding. So it's really individualized, I have the standard things that I do, but it depends on what people want to work on.
Okay.
And yeah, so I love it. And then now I was trained to work in hospice. So I can go and help people who are transitioning, and then their family who maybe lost someone or is going through it. It's very traumatic, and they want to get some energy and some love infused energy work to them.
Well, what I really enjoy hearing you talk about is how you take all these modalities, and I know, like, you talk about a lot of these in the book, and then, even some of our earlier books, just the fact of the heart, helping people feel better about themselves. Oh, by the way, this is a very funny book. That you put all these aspects of you and what you do and the different careers you do, and you bring them all together, and you're able to do them right here with this healing work you do. That's really nice. Even the work from the board. I mean, some of these ways you worked with the board to clear yourself, get yourself ready to use the board, Mirth coming through, who you met through the board, you're bringing it all together. And I think that's important, that we don't need to see our life so compartmentalized sometimes, that you and I on our other show, Women of Ouija, have talked about some of these things where things are springboard, and we can see it as necessary, all these steps we go through. We begin to see in hindsight always. Sometimes we could see it in the future, but most of the time we just go, oh, now I see why I did that training, or now I see how it's all coming together. And I love hearing that you're not a traditionalist in terms of following it, the book, to the letter T, but you're willing to, free-form it according to what the people need, according to what you feel. And I say that's really a testament to you being aware of how these energies and how you work with these energies, how they're around you, and how you can channel them, work with them. I think that's important for people to hear, because we all can do it different ways. And I get a lot of people, you do too, Marla, that'll say, it has to be this way, and I have to do this, especially for the board work. And I say, well, those are just silly rules that somebody else works for them, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Maybe you could speak to that a little bit more, how you were able to find yourself in this ability to free form this stuff, because I think a lot of people want to stick with traditional steps.
Well, exactly, and think about it. The traditional stuff, that was channeled through somebody anyway. Yes. Somebody, someone made it up, or someone developed it, or someone channeled it. So that's great to learn from somebody, something that's maybe tried and true, that works, that you can kind of grab onto for a base. But I don't think that you have to follow somebody else's exact what they're doing, because even like Zarathustra, I also took his training fifth dimensional quantum healing, and he always says, I'm not the healer. I don't heal anybody. It's the, Lord God, or whoever you want to say, is coming through, and the healer shows up. When I'm present, my vibration's raised, and I'm open to doing the work, then the healer shows up. So whether that's, God, an angel, the universe, whatever that's working through you, so you've got to feel how you want to work with these energies. I did like having that base, but I just didn't feel, doesn't feel right to me to be rigid and give everyone the same treatment, like your hands have to be here, 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 and here for how many minutes. No, I want to feel where I'm led, my intuition, to work with it. And people say, I can feel the energy, or the other day, 2 days ago, a woman came, and she said, my shoulder's been hurting so much for the past week, and then I worked on her, and she said, well, my shoulder's not hurting anymore when she left. So I loved it. It's great. And some people might not be, listen, with energy work, someone could have a spontaneous healing on the table from a serious disease. Maybe they can just feel more relaxed. There might not be any healing happen, but it feels good, or it calms them down. There's many things that can happen. So it's not a one size fits all,
No, it's not. But shifts can happen after the fact too, and something might shift in you and feel like maybe it's the releasing of some kind of ailment or pain or ache, and it's a little bit of everything. And it's nice that they have that open, the time for themselves to come to you, to really tune into themselves and have somebody else help them do that. And then when they leave, they may feel it later on. I mean, when I was a therapist, I remember one of the questions I had, well, how do I know if I affect change? How do I know I help that person? They said, that is being in the ego. They say the bottom line is you be present with the energies. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was a vessel to make a safe space, to be present with the energies, and that presence in itself does the healing work. And I learned that as a therapist, and I can see how this translates really well to what you're doing with the energy work. Yeah, well, something very important I want to mention too is you can't always expect to come to, let's say you want to go to an energetic healer or spiritual healer. You can't expect one time and your whole life is changed, or illness is gone. You don't go to a traditional Western doctor and go to him and say, this is wrong with me, or I have cancer or something. Expect that day to go home with a magic pill that's going to cure you or something. So it's the same with the energy healer. You might need to go a few times. Also, you have to take responsibility of yourself. If you're treating your body like crap, you're pre-diabetic because you're 300 pounds, or you're eating junk, you're smoking, and then you come to a healer and say, well, heal me, Right.
So you have to also do your part. Even in traditional medicine, they can't, do that for you. So it's a co-creation. You have to do your part as well, and honor yourself, honor your body. What do I need to do to be gentle with myself, to bring more healing to myself, treat myself better?
That's beautiful. You said it's a co-creation. It's a partnership. So this goes into also, I know your work as a matchmaker, and you have great success with that. How do you help people find that self-responsibility, their part they have to do? Because you're right, people want a quick fix me up. I want to date a woman that looks like this, or a man that looks like this. What do you do to help them do their part to bring that out in them?
Yes, I do have the more high maintenance clients because I work with the more affluent men. That's what my niche is, like the Beverly Hills Matchmaker. That's what I've always done for 16 years. So they can think, well, I'm successful and I'm this whole package and I'm handsome, so I want a supermodel and you better hand her to me, and is she hot? And, so I actually got deeper into the spirituality to kind of balance that part out, right? Because I get frustrated when a guy wouldn't want to meet somebody because she doesn't, she's not thin enough or not the right height or whatever. So I had to deal with my emotions around that too, and do a lot of self-healing as a woman to constantly be hearing these criticisms and stuff. But I will, even some of so I've got my files over here of the guys I work on. I'll Reiki them. Sometimes I'll put my client's photo in my Reiki box and send them Reiki. Some of them have hired me to give them clearings and Reiki. I give coaching and tell them, look, you've got to, let's look at your blocks here, your part in it. And that is one thing a lot of singles do just want, okay, I've hired you, so provide me with what I'm looking for, but you have to do your part too. And is your art, if you want someone with a lot of money, are your finances in order? Are you in debt? If you want someone with a perfect body, do you have any weight to release, or do you need to tone up? Do you, just, you got to think about, you want somebody with a beautiful car. Is your car a filthy mess with, cups, dirty soda cups and straws, or, things in it? So clean up your area, clean up what you need to clean up, raise your vibration, and then that person's going to come into your life. So it is also the matchmaking. It's a co-creation. Otherwise, I can't do it all. I can't go to the gym for you and lift the weights. I can't, make your issues or your anger from your last relationship or your heartbreaks, things you need to work on. I can't magically make that go away. So if you're willing, as a single person out there, if you're looking for someone and you're willing to do some work, there's no reason you can't find a fantastic soulmate to spend your life with.
Well, I know you do a lot of work with self-worth and self-love, and you're talking about that right now. In order to attract the person you want, as you're talking about, you need to kind of magnetize it by becoming that person you want and loving yourself within first to get the love outside, right? Maybe you can speak to that a little bit, because that to me is also energetic work, because you're doing with the magnetics.
Right, the magnet. So if let's say you've got this list of all these qualities you want in another person, but you don't like yourself, you're not happy with yourself, you don't like being in your body, you're not happy with your job, you're not happy with your surroundings. Well, why should you got to kind of think, put yourself in their place. Why would someone want to date you? So what is it, would you want to date you? What's the attraction here when there's all these other people too? So it's we've got some competition out there. There's a lot of people, singles out there, right? So you've got to kind of rise above the crowd, especially as we get older. We're a very youth-driven society where the humans are shallow, so they want to see attractive, shiny things, and so we've got to kind of stay on top of our game. If you want to attract somebody great, you've got to be happy with. One thing I hear men say a lot, Marla, can you just find me a woman who's happy with her life? Because they'll go on dates and the women will complain about their job or their ex or their life or their finances. And the guy, after a man is working all day very hard, he's looking forward to a date with a lovely woman, relaxing, and then it's like a therapy session. So I get that a lot. So don't treat your date like a therapist.
And doesn't that yeah, exactly. Doesn't that stem though from how you feel within yourself too?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got to get your own life in order first. And when you get your mind quiet, meditation's so important and great. Maybe do some yoga, get centered, and your vibration raises, things will start attracting. You'll think of something and it'll appear. So I have got a great story about that. I decided to test the universe one day. I said, okay, I like doing these fun law of attraction experiments. And I said, oh, universe, I want someone to bring me a crystal. Give me a gift of a crystal. That should be pretty simple. Somebody's going to say, here's a crystal. And I put that out. And a few days passed and nothing, nobody gave me a crystal. And I thought, oh, darn, this didn't work. Well, after 5 days after I had said that, this new friend, she's another matchmaker, came over. We were going to go have dinner together, and she knocked on the door, and she goes, oh, hang on. She ran back to her car, ran back up, and she says, I forgot I have this for you. And she gave me this tree.
Oh my gosh.
And it's amethyst with a little money tree with turquoise and clear crystals. So it's like 3 different crystals.
Very, very neat. And so you didn't just get one crystal, you got more. It just took a few days.
Yeah, I got 3 crystals. And then I just want to tell you a little story if we have time. So one night I was, sometimes even if you're real spiritual, you can slip. I was being real pissy with my recruiter who works with me, and I don't know what it was, but I got upset. She was calling me or badgering me about something, and I snapped at her, and I don't usually do that, and I felt terrible. And I was laying in bed, and I was just like, oh, why did I have to lose my cool? And I was laying in bed watching TV, and I had bought this in Seattle, which says forgive, and it was next to my bed, and I grabbed it and I put it on my heart chakra, and I did some deep breathing. I said, please forgive me. I asked the person energetically to forgive me and please forgive myself. And I did that for about 10 minutes, and then I decided to check my phone, and I looked at my email, and there was an email from this person. The only thing in the email was a picture of this same rock that said forgive, that she sent me.
Amazing.
She picture of it on the internet or something and decided to send it. And I said, I have that exact rock on my chest right now. So it was perfect example of how we're all connected.
Yes.
We really are connected. So if you're out there dating, or if you're, a friendship or work or anything, when we're, on the internet, how people will trolls will write nasty comments, or they'll write nasty things, political things about people and put downs or whatever. We're all connected, and it hurts, and it's so that whole vibration. If we could be kinder to each other and say high vibrational affirmations and uplift people, we're going to notice a big shift, because there's so much low vibrational stuff going on out there with now social media. It's so easy to hide behind the keyboard and make a nasty comment or snap at someone because we're texting, or take something the wrong way. So we've got to kind of think about that as well, about our energy field.
What's really nice about that you brought up, on the flip side too, you'll see people also on social media, especially on Facebook, say, I need extra prayers today. This is going on in my life. Please pray for my sister who's really undergoing some severe stuff and we may lose her. Or pray for my animals, or my animal just died. And that energy goes out, and that's so beautiful too, because you feel it. I mean, the veil's lifted. The veil has always been lifted. What's happened is we've become more able to see through that veil. It's always been lifted. We just have the ability now to awaken ourselves to it. And so now we're starting to really sense it more, these energies and the effect of that. So everybody's asking for prayers. And then, like you said, people are doing negative things, and you sense that too. So, we're all awakening these senses, and it's all through this energetic field we're talking about, whether it's, like you said, attracting the right love to you, whether it's, attracting the right kind of health you want to have, or the kind of healing or a lifestyle you want to have. It's all through this magnetics of picking your vibration, getting it to where you want to be, and then allowing that to come back to you, to the similar vibrations. It's beautiful.
And I've noticed that since I've been working with this energy more and more, I can just think of something and then it's going to happen.
Yes.
It was so interesting. I was watching this video when I first started getting to know Zarathustra, my teacher who I'm working with. We're doing a workshop together in October for single women, so check my website.
And we'll have to talk about that at the end of the show. She's going to share with you what's coming up for her. She's got some really cool stuff. But yeah.
But I remember so I had taken so we really met, and Karen and I met him really together. I'd met him the past year. I'd introduced myself, but I really didn't know him. So Karen and I, we were at the Conscious Life Expo, and we had a blast. We've got we'll have to put the link to that video.
The links below of us when we filmed ourselves. And he's on that. He's on that video.
Because I said, can you open my third eye? So we met him there, and we had a private session with him for our third eye.
Yes.
And anyway, I started getting so intrigued about him and his teachings, and I said, I really want to take one of his workshops. So I started taking every workshop that he offered. So this is just since this February. And I remember I'd interviewed him for my show, and I remember seeing one of his Facebook Live posts, and he had put, he was there like hiking with this woman, and he says, oh, me and such, she's helping me edit my latest book, Lightning Notes from Zarathustra, and we're taking a hike, and then we're going to work. And I said to myself, I wish I was working on his book with him. I said, I wish I was working on that, because I'm a writer, and I don't know, because I loved his energy. I just loved what he's doing. I said, I wish I was doing that. And guess what I'm doing now? I'm working on his second book with him, Lightning Notes from Zarathustra. I'm helping him edit it.
So awesome.
He asked me to. I never even brought it up. So we connected in a really great way. We're doing a lot of work together, and now I'm going to help him with that. So. Yeah, just you think of something, so be careful what you think.
That's right. It can come back the other way too. So really, again, think of the things you want. I mean, we got to catch ourselves too when we're just doing the monkey mind chatter, and you're like maybe you're going over things in your mind, but it's not the most positive. You're drawing that to you too, right? So it goes both ways.
Exactly. Sometimes I'll be thinking of something like a negative thought, and I'll smash my head on a cupboard or something. Like I'll be bending down, boom, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a big reminder.
It's like wake up.
Remember when our vibration was so high at the Conscious Life Expo, because we were having so much fun. So we go into George Nouri's Mixer event, and you go, oh, there's Jimmy Church. He's got a great show. Let's see if we can get on it. And we walked up to him, and hey, can we be on your show? And he's like, yeah. And we were both on his show within the month. So it's like, because we were like, we didn't even know him.
Yeah, exactly.
These spooky women coming up. Can we be on your show? He doesn't even know what we do. And then, but our enthusiasm, our vibration was so high, we could have just done anything that day.
We were pretty much doing anything. We were filmed for some other things that day, and we
Yeah.
were meeting a lot of really cool people, and everything we wanted to do really came to fruition that day. And it's true. We were just in such a joyful space. And I got to say, that space lasted, even coming home, for quite some time. And then, you build it back up again. When you lose it, you build it back up again. You build it back up again.
Mine did too. We bought those matching hats. We bought a little cap with the alien on it, right?
And it's my Facebook avatar now. I love it.
And we took pictures with it, and I was so happy. And I had that hat. That was like my reminder. And when I came home, I thought I lost the hat. And it was in a purse, but I thought I lost it, and I was so upset. And I said to my husband, I lost the hat, because that hat had been meant for me that wonderful day we had. And that was like, I love that hat. It's my favorite hat. And I was so distraught over that, losing that hat, and then I found it. But
it's good to that's like when we talk about talismans. It's kind of like having the reminder of talisman, something that represents that fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like NLP technique to anchor in the feelings. And that hat, by the way, I just took it to Sedona with me and wore it there. It's a magical hat. It's a magical hat is what it became for us.
And people kept looking at us, asking about it, and talking to us because we were wearing that hat.
And I'm going to tell you what, everybody's asking me, where can I get a hat like that? I want a hat like that. I go, we just got it at the Conscious Life Expo. We bought the last two, if you recall.
$20, yeah.
And it's been a magical hat. So that's interesting. So I like this, that we're having this conversation, because it helps us look at different ways, maybe not the traditional ways of raising our energy. And for me, what I've found the most is to make a choice, to be in the moment and choose joy. Now, that's not always easy. It's easier said than done. But there's times when I be able to flip it on a dime, needing a phone call from a client, something that's not quite working right, and then flipping it, making a choice to say, it's going to happen, and then trying to get out of my way to let it happen. I mean, not trying to figure it out, and the next thing you know, the call comes. That's kind of what the call came today before our show started. I was waiting for this call, super important call, and of course, and I haven't heard it. There it came through right when we were starting the show. But it's things like that, and they might seem small, but these are all validation that the energy you're working with is shifting and changing in a flow of the direction you may want to go. So this is all.
You can do? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just getting you. Go ahead.
This is something I used to do a lot, and I just did it. When I was in Chicago. I lived in a little studio apartment. I was living alone after my divorce, and I would put some fun music on, and I'd dance all around. And I remember I was booking TV commercials. I remember I booked one in two in a week, and because I'd get my vibration so up. Glenn Campbell just died, and I love Glenn Campbell. I grew up with his music in my home. My dad used to play it, and I started playing that one of his upbeat songs, and Try a Little Kindness,
Oh, yeah.
Try a little kindness, overlook the blindness, narrow-minded people. So anyway, I start dancing with that song. Like, I played it like 6 times, and I'm dancing, and then I got an email. I got an audition for a reality show I auditioned for. It was just like things started coming in. Now, we don't know if I'll get the show, but
but something came that that you really wanted, and it was just by raising your energy that it becomes easier for it to come to you. That's what it bottom line is. It becomes easier.
And that dancing around, just put on some fun music and dance, and that's a quick fix, quick way to get your vibration up.
Oh, I do that too, the dancing part, and also for me, doing some artwork, and even just journaling, just, positive statements. One of the things I do, and I think, Marla, we've talked about this before, is I have this like a self-appreciation journal where I put down everything that I appreciate. When I'm in a bad space, feeling in a bad mood, then I'll start saying, well, I appreciate the blue sky. I appreciate the green trees. I appreciate the grass. I appreciate that I'm in good health. And I just go on. Next thing you know, I'm feeling so much better. My energy's back up, and then I can allow those things to flow back into my life. I mean, it's a constant thing we have to do as humans in the third dimension, because we're in a space of dualism where we have good, bad, all these different things. And for us to find that mid-road, it's like we've got to create it ourselves. So that's what you're doing, it sounds like, with your energy work. You're co-creating, find that mid-road, to bring in the energies where somebody can be more in a neutral space as opposed to maybe a very negative space, to bring the energy in.
Yeah, absolutely. And just carrying that energy with you and just feeling it and just working with it. It's amazing. So, and I also, if you do want to get attuned and take an energy class, I suggest if you could find someone in person, not on the, now they're offering like Reiki attunements on the internet and stuff. And, yes, energy is like, I could give a long distance healing. I do that too. You can, because there's no time and space and it's just as powerful, but I would prefer to get that attunement in person from that master. It's a very sacred, special ceremony, and I just feel like it would be more powerful. So if you can do that, I would suggest it.
Okay, so this is the part of the show where I ask for you to give us some nugget, some gem to hold on to that we can use right now, even if let's say we're not Reiki trained, let's say we don't have all these different things we've studied yet, but what is the one thing they can do that from a conversation we had today, they can do right now that can help them get into this space of the vibration of raising it and also bringing in healing energies?
Well, yeah, do something fun, like whatever if you're kind of feeling, yucky, maybe you had an argument with somebody or you've got a project at work you don't like, or you might be kind of dragging, so you might even just want to take off your shoes, walk through the grass, sit down and feel, you don't have to be Reiki attuned. The energy is flowing through all of us. We're sitting in it. We're in the cosmic soup, so to speak. So you can feel it. Sometimes I feel energy on my leg. Maybe it's my angel touching me, or kind of just try to sit and feel where the energy is coming in. And like my hands right now, they're all tingly. I can feel, I'm working with the energy. And take your hands and maybe go like this and put them together like this and feel the energy between. You go in and out and feel. See, can you feel that energy?
Oh, yeah. I always create a ball first is what I do.
Create a ball. Create a ball, and then maybe you can work with it and work it around your heart chakra. Clear yourself like that. And work with it, and you'll start feeling it, and the more you do it, the more that energy will be available to you. You don't have to go to a Reiki course or an energy healing course, even though they're wonderful. You don't have to do that. You have energy. We're made of energy. It's here. So work with it. Call in your guides. Get to know your spirit guide. We all have one, and you can just try to start asking for signs. Maybe ask for a sign in your dream or a feeling or. They're wonderful. Just call them in. Maybe you can't even feel them, but just say, team, my metaphysical team, my spirit guides, my angels, come in, protect me. Whenever I'm in my car, I ask for Archangel Michael to ride with me in the car to protect me when I'm walking my dog in the evening. Wherever you want that protection, you want your team, because we have one. Mm-hmm. We have a spiritual team. So that's fun to work with too, and you can maybe even feel their energy.
That's awesome. I call mine the Council of Karen.
Oh, I love it.
The Council of Karen, and they come in. So I love that. That's wonderful. Marla, where can they find you? And also tell us what you have coming up.
Yay! Well, everything I have that I'm doing is on my website, marlamartenson.com, and I'm sure you'll link below. And I have, if you're a single woman in the Los Angeles area, October 7th and 8th. Yeah. 2017, Zarathustra and I are giving a 2-day workshop, and it's called Magnetize Your Soulmate, 5th Dimensional Style. Ooh. So we're digging deep, clearing out our old stories, doing healing work. You're going to get healings from us. We're going to raise the vibration. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, and that's in West LA, and all the info is on my website. We're also going to have, prizes. I'm going to be giving away some books and some other great stuff. It's going to be really profound, really. He is an amazing healer. He works not only in Los Angeles, but in Scandinavia a lot. He does group healings where people have massive shifts. Just being in his vibration, you can have some shifts. So I'm really blessed to be doing this with him. What else? I've got my books. I've got my YouTube show.
Where can they find your book, especially this last one?
The Buddha Made Me Do It, A Field Guide to Enlightenment. Also on my website. It's on Amazon, but also all my books are on my website. And I have a book, $10. It's called Worthy of Love, and it's has a meditation in there. It has a video in there. It has a lot of fun things to teach you about your chakras, raising your vibration, to call in your soulmate. So that's for women, and that's called Worthy of Love. So I've got I have a free training on my site too with amazing Coach Susan Allen. We have it's called something, How to Marry a Billionaire.
Whoa!
It's a one, or just a great guy. It doesn't have to be a billionaire, but it's a 1 hour free training for women. And then if you want to dive deeper, you can do that with no obligation. I've got a lot of fun stuff on my website, so go check it out. Also, there's a free guided self-love guided meditation that you can grab and download if you go to my website. So.
Wonderful.
I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm a Gemini, and I just can't stop.
Trust me, she does.
Karen, too. We do a lot of stuff, so if you want to get the most, squeeze the most out of life, you got to have energy, right?
You do. You do. Absolutely do. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure having you back on the show. I know it's a different show, but, we did so many shows together. It's always been a blast.
Bye, you guys. Great to see you again. Comment below. What have you been doing, and how are you using your energy? We want to hear it, right?
Absolutely. Thank you again, Marla. It's been a blast. So there you have it. Here's a person who's really working with energies on many different levels. Not only in her career as a matchmaker, helping people find self-love and responsibility for themselves, but also on the side of healing yourself energetically, emotionally, spiritually, on multiple levels, because after all, we are multifaceted beings. And so one of the neatest things I think I heard her say is that you can do this yourself right now, because energy is always flowing through you, and all you need to do is just help guide it sometimes, or step aside and let it do its work. So thank you for joining us today. Please comment, like, subscribe, join this channel, join me here as I bring in other wonderful guests. This was Creative Visions TV, and I'm Karen Dahlman, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thank you.